We live in a world where we celebrate weddings more than marriages. We take more photos of rings than of real moments. But marriage isn't about a single day of vows and flowers, it's about the daily, invisible choices we make to draw close to one another. And intimacy is the oxygen that keeps that love alive. Let's begin with what intimacy really is. It's not just physical touch, though that is a beautiful part of it. It's not just late-night conversations, although they matter. Intimacy is about intimacy. It is vulnerability, the ability to let someone see you completely and choose to love you still. It's knowing your spouse's soul, not just their schedule. In the early days of a relationship, intimacy often feels effortless. It's the spark, the thrill, the connection that seems to just exist. But with time, with routine, with work deadlines and screaming kids and overflowing laundry baskets, that spark can flicker. And sometimes, if we're not careful, it can go out completely. And when that happens, we don't just lose passion, we lose direction. Because intimacy isn't a luxury in marriage, it's a necessity. It's the very thing that keeps two people from simply becoming roommates. Let's face it, marriage is hard. It's sacred, but it's messy. It's joyful, but it's demanding. There are times when your spouse won't be easy to love. And truth be told, there will be times when you aren't easy to love either. That's where intimacy becomes more than physical, it becomes redemptive. It's in those quiet, painful moments, after an argument, after a loss, after disappointment, where true intimacy is tested. You see, real intimacy says, I see your flaws. I see your fears, and I choose you anyway. It says, I know you're tired, but I'm not going anywhere. It says, even in your silence, I want to understand your heart. It's in the unglamorous, ordinary moments, a hand held in the hospital waiting room, a kiss on the forehead after a hard day, an unexpected, I'm proud of you, whispered at the kitchen sink. And yet, how easily we neglect intimacy. We think it will just happen. We think love will sustain itself on memories alone. But love that is not nurtured withers. Intimacy requires intentionality. It requires courage. Because being truly close to someone requires the risk of being hurt. But it is also the most worthwhile risk you will ever take. Some of you may be sitting here thinking, that sounds wonderful, but you don't know what we've been through. There's distance. There's pain. There's silence between us that feels like a canyon. And you're right, I don't know your story. But I do know this, intimacy can be rebuilt. Even after trust is broken, even after months, even years, of detachment. Healing takes time, but it is possible. Because intimacy is not about perfection, it's about persistence. It's not about avoiding hurt, it's about repairing with love. So, how do we build or rebuild intimacy? We begin small. We begin with presence, with eye contact, with listening, not to respond, but to understand. We prioritize connection over convenience. We touch more, not only out of passion, but out of kindness. A hand on the shoulder, a brush of the fingers, a hug that lingers longer than usual. We speak more, not just about the bills and the schedule, but about our hearts. We ask, how are you, really? And then we listen without trying to fix everything. Intimacy also grows when we share experiences. It thrives in laughter, in prayer, in play, and yes, in the bedroom. Physical intimacy is not just a desire, it's a language. A way of saying, I see you. I desire you. I'm still drawn to you. It is not dirty. It is not unspiritual. It is beautiful, sacred, and necessary. And when couples neglect it, they starve a crucial part of their bond. Let me also say this to those who are feeling shame, those who feel like the flame in your marriage has dimmed or disappeared. There is no shame in struggle. Only danger in silence. Talk to your spouse. Seek counsel. You are not alone, and your marriage is not beyond hope. Sometimes, we think we need more passion in our marriage, when what we really need is more presence. More time, more attention, more compassion. Marriages don't fall apart because of one big mistake. They fall apart slowly, by 1,000 little moments when we stop showing up. So show up, even when you're tired, even when it's awkward, even when it feels like your effort isn't being reciprocated. Because love that lasts is love that leans in. We must also remember that intimacy doesn't require us to always agree. It requires us to always care. To stay curious about each other. To not assume we know everything there is to know about our partner. People grow. They change. The person you married 10 or 20 years ago isn't the same today. And that's not a threat, it's an invitation. An invitation to rediscover each other, again and again. So I challenge you today, pursue your spouse. Flirt again, touch again, dream again. Sit down tonight and ask, what makes you feel most loved by me? Then do that thing, not once, but over and over. Because love is not sustained by memory. It is sustained by movement. To the husbands, your wife wants to be seen. Not just for how she mothers or manages or cooks, but for who she is. Tell her she's beautiful. Thank her. Listen to her dreams, even the ones she's afraid to say out loud. Choose her, every day, especially on the hard days. To the wives, your husband wants to be needed. Not just for what he provides, but for who he is. Admire him. Encourage him. Speak life into him. Choose him, not for who he used to be, but for who he is becoming. In the end, intimacy in marriage is not built in the grand gestures. It's built in the choice to stay close, heart to heart, soul to soul. It's 1,000 quiet moments of choosing us over me. It's not about having a perfect marriage, but about creating a safe place where both people can grow, heal, laugh, cry, fail, and still be loved. Let us be a generation that values intimacy, that prioritizes presence, that doesn't settle for shallow connection, but instead presses deeper into the messy, sacred beauty of true closeness. Let's raise marriages that aren't just long, but full of grace, full of fire, full of tenderness, full of life. Because when intimacy lives at the heart of your marriage, you don't just survive together, you thrive together. Thank you.